Welcome back, it's Melanie, or She Shed Scrapper. So today I am back with a one-page layout using the Lake Life collection from Bella Blvd again. I used it a week or so ago, I believe, and realized I put all these fishing photos inside to use this collection with, and so I needed to dig into it some more. I love this collection. So many great pieces. So I have these two photos of my oldest, of course, fishing, because that is what he loves to do. And you can see he's got a hat on. I think he begged his dad to go early in the morning. So, yeah, a hat on, sweatshirt, and shorts. It must be probably May, I would say, May or June. But loves fishing. So I knew I wanted to kind of have both photos over on the left-hand side of the page and overlapping kind of at a diagonal, and wanted to use that catch of the day for my title. So the tricky part was trying to figure out which picture the title could overlap. And so I had to play around with it a little bit. I also knew I had sketched this one out and knew I wanted to tear my papers and do some layers behind the photo going down. Lucky for me, I have the two larger photos because that fish paper was not 12 inches long, but because it was going to go behind my photos, I was able to tear it and make it look like it was going all the way through. Again, I kind of sketched out and kind of laid out this layout ahead of time. I kind of knew I wanted a embellishment cluster to the top right because there was going to be this wide open white space up there. So I did go ahead and pick out embellishments. There's so many embellishments with this kit that I did go ahead and separate them out. I separated out all of like the fishing sayings, the fish, anything fishing I had already separated out to save some time. I then decided to use this kind of aqua fish paper as well. Not that anybody will probably notice, but I'm going to point it out anyways. The fish on this blue paper, I guess they go both ways, I think, actually. But the fish on the teal paper are actually going the opposite way. They are, I guess, swimming upstream, you could say. But it is what it is. It wasn't, I liked that third layer there and liked adding more fish. So once I realized it, I decided I wasn't going to change it. I was just going to leave it how it was. So I'm going to back these photos, and one I think I'm going to back in just white. And then the other one I am going to double back and use this red paper, which I loved because he's got that red sweatshirt on. I love that he is so mismatched in the picture because it looks like the photos go with the papers. We've got the aqua for the Miami Dolphins hat. We've got the red plaid. It was like he was dressed for these papers. I remember showing my husband the layout when I was finished, and I was like, I'm so glad he's got such bright colors on and the bright green grass in the background too, because it just helped everything kind of flow together better. So once I kind of have that, I'm trying to play around with the waves that come in the ephemera. There's also this giant fish that I thought about adding to the bottom, but kind of just decided he was too big, especially for the itty-bitty fish that is in the picture, I guess. So I am going to, I guess I'm going to back this photo as well. I didn't even remember. But I had a piece of that fish paper left, which was perfect, so I am just, I guess, backing that one, which works because it is sitting on that striped paper. So it does kind of pop that out a little bit extra as well. I am going to pop this photo up on some foam tape. I like to kind of draw attention to one, if not multiple photos, if it's a two-page layout, and popping it up, giving the layout some dimension is one way to do that. Another way, a lot of times I will double back just a specific photo instead of all of them. But because I did pop that photo up on foam tape, and because my title is overlapping it, I do have to then pop the title up on foam tape as well. So I'm still using the rolls from Dollar Tree, and my new Fiskars scissors seem to be working out really nicely, so I am enjoying that. But I did just buy some foam rectangles that come in a roll from Hobby Lobby today, so we will see how that works as well. I just kind of wanted a smaller option. Those are a lot easier just to peel off and kind of stick where you need to, and I feel like I could cut those smaller if I needed to. I do have these, I think they're epoxy stickers, and I used those under my title. Kind of just wanted to, I don't know, one, use up some pieces, and two, kind of add something back down to the bottom there. So I did add some of the waves, some of the fish. I did pop the one up on some foam tape so it could overlap one of the waves a little bit. Again, popping up this phrase at the top on foam tape too, just giving it a little bit more dimension. I love that saying, always wishing I was fishing, because this kid will fish. He would fish every day if he could. And quite honestly, for hours on end without ever catching anything. We found that out in Canada last year. He fished for hours and never once caught a thing, and that did not, sway him from wanting to continue. I knew I wanted to journal for this layout, and when I had initially sketched it, I had my title above my journaling. I don't usually journal above my title, but it just will help fill in that white space a little bit, and so I did decide to switch it up for this layout a little bit. This is where I struggled. I knew I wanted an embellishment cluster at the bottom and possibly the top, but I kind of struggled with which pieces to use. I have quite a bit of this collection. I have the chipboard stickers you see here and all of the embellishments, and there's all of these adorable bears that have fish. There was this chipboard one that I thought about using, but I needed to figure out what to use with it. So there was that little heart that was perfect and some more sayings, but I just didn't love the way that that looked. So you can see I'm kind of contemplating what to do, what to use. I do have some fishing flares from Scrap and Happy Studio that match color-wise. They match perfectly, and so I thought about incorporating a couple of those in if I could. You can see I do have the kind of scallop circle at the top. It says Gone Fishing. I thought that would be a good option for the top with one of those flares from Scrap and Happy Studio. Found a tackle box that worked or looked really cute, but decided that bear was too large. And so instead I brought in a smaller bear and decided to commit to that one, and then commit to the tackle box as well. I liked the way that that looked, and again, bringing out the foam tape to add some more dimension kind of all over this layout. And so I'm going to add that, and then just kind of have to figure out the top cluster. The top cluster, I'll say, is probably the one that gave me the most fits. I like the way that it looks kind of right now, but I don't know, I just kind of played around with it. I didn't know, I don't know, I felt like maybe I was trying to add too much to that top cluster. So you can see I am going to commit to the flare, and then the Gone Fishing circle there. Because it overlaps that top photo, I did have to add some foam tape to that as well. When I do that, I do make sure that I add some adhesive to the part that's overlapping the photos. So with my title, especially the CA and the T, I would have put additional tape down there, and then the rest of it has that foam tape. That red heart at the top, I do like that. Again, it just brings in some more red because he's got that red sweatshirt on. But then I found this little blurb that says life is good. Thought I would use that. Again, just kind of struggling with that top cluster. Tried using that fish sticker and that phrase sticker. I just didn't like how spread out that cluster was. Those fish just kind of, I think, came over too much towards the left, and I didn't like how that looked. I had that cluster down at the bottom. I don't know, part of me struggled even adding a cluster to the top there because of that sun and phrase sticker on the very top right. But it just, again, looked too plain for me to have nothing up there. So, trying again, I do like those two pieces that I have, but then had to figure out what else I could use. So I did go back to that red heart and added that to that cluster at the top. I decided kind of more simple was better, or more simple, simpler was better. Oh man. And then I only had two pieces in the embellishment cluster on the bottom left, so I wanted a third embellishment, and kind of went through what I had sitting over to the left there, but decided to go with a heart sticker. Found another red one, and so added that to that bottom left cluster. I've got the sticker sheet as well. Oh, and then I found two itty bitty hearts. So I did layer those two small hearts up on the other bigger hearts. But that's going to finish off this layout. I hope you guys enjoyed. I will link the collection down below. Again, it's one of my favorites, especially with spring and summer coming up. I think this is a great one to stock up on. But I hope you guys enjoyed, and we will see you next time. Bye, guys.